welcome to Unity. We're so glad you're here with us for Easter. We have an amazing experience. First of all, I know you can't see it, but all around you are images of butterflies, that symbol of that transformation that takes place within us when we connect with that magnificent spiritual self. Thank you for being a part of this connection for us. And it is my prayer that this happens in the most beautiful way for you.
Good morning, Unity of Walnut Creek. Happy Easter. Everybody seated and ready? To begin our Easter service, our special Easter service, I invite us all to take a deep breath through our hearts. As we become still, our hearts open, and spirit becomes our teacher. Good morning again, and happy Easter. My name is Javier Cortez, and it's truly my pleasure to welcome you to our special Easter celebration. It's a joy to have all our members, families, friends, and guests here today. If you are a guest or new to Unity, Whether in our sanctuary or online, we truly appreciate you being with us. Please join me in waving hello to our friends at home. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we appreciate you. Our music today is by our wonderful, joyful noise choir. Also, please welcome to our children's choir to today's service. I invite you to let the voices of our children open your heart to the beauty of this sacred moment.
From
are going to invite you to greet those around you, but we know Unity people love to greet everyone in the building. Because of our expanded special service today, we ask that you take this moment to wish a happy Easter to the people immediately around you. And immediately is everyone.
Please stand and join us in singing Thank You for This Day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful.
Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance. So she came running to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one that Jesus loved, and said, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have put him." So Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but did not go in. Then Simon Peter came along behind him and went straight into the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the cloth that had been wrapped around Jesus' head. The cloth was still lying in its place, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciple, who had reached the tomb first, also went inside. And he saw and he believed. They still did not understand from Scripture that Jesus had to rise from the dead. Then the disciples went back to where they were staying. Now Mary stood outside the tomb, crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and one at the foot. And they asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize that it was Jesus. Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will go get him." Then Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned toward him and cried out, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went to the disciples with the news, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her.
Happy Easter. So take that deep breath through your heart. And let's just go into that place where we get to do that. We just get to do the praise, the joy, the gratitude from our hearts for this amazing experience of life that we are journeying through. So I invite you to turn within. And as we enter into this inner place, let's give permission to the outer. We have our doors open, and we may hear the sounds of children, of little ones, of big ones, of folks next to us. And it's all a part of this sacred experience of life. So in the center of this experience of life, in the center of ourselves, in the center of our hearts, we gently let go. Mother, Father, God, as we turn inward, as we reach to know you more deeply, as we awaken to this presence that you are within us, without us, about us, we are so grateful, for you do bless each of us in every way. You fill our lives with goodness and blessing, with abundance and health and peace. You heal us as we experience hurt. You lift our vision that we might create from the very highest within us. Beloved presence, we are so grateful. We're so grateful for the awakening that happens within us here and now. As Mary was there at the tomb and Jesus called her name, she awoke to recognize that she was in the presence of that Christ self. And so in this sacred moment, we awaken, for we are in the presence of that Christ self within our own beings, within our hearts, that guides us every single moment. Thank you. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the healing love. Thank you for your presence, for the beauty and the joy. Thank you for the peace and the healing that tears bring. Thank you for the hands that reach out and touch us when we think we are alone. Thank you for helping our hands to reach out and touch another when they believe they are alone. Thank you for this sacred moment where we let go of all about us and enter into the sacred stillness with you, just being one with the one, following that direction you gave through the psalmist. And you said, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. And so mind's quiet. Serenity fills us. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Father, Mother, God, beloved presence. As in this moment we simply breathe, breathing love, breathing your presence, breathing this power that heals and transforms, breathing that feeling of love as it flows through our hearts. With this sacred breath, we choose to send forth this power of love that heals and uplifts and blesses. So we radiate it from our hearts. And first we send it into our own bodies for wholeness, well-being, strength. We send it to our minds and hearts for wisdom and understanding. We radiate this love, sending it across this spiritual community to touch everyone, to uplift and bless and heal and bless everyone within their world. We send this love through our hearts to every prayer request brought here. We know with you that you are enfolded in divine love and lifted to that which is the highest. And this divine love flows through our hearts, flows across the communities in which we live, across our nation and the nations of the world to heal the fears of all peoples. This love flows from our hearts to those who join us in prayer, whether in mosque or synagogue, temple or church, whether gathered at home or on the hillsides. And seeking to know you, we are all one. And this wonderful love flows from our hearts to touch this beautiful earth, to bring healing and balance into all her systems, to bring blessing to her creatures. And this love flows from our hearts to enfold the earth and touch the heart of every single person in the earth. For you are that love in every heart. And in this love, we are one. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And it is so in that joy that comes from knowing the divine presence in each. And so it is, here now. Amen.
Hold your head,
Aren't they magnificent?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And all of you, thank you. Thank you. That song puts me back to experience of a man who discovered how true that was. Someone who's been a part of my life for many years. But when this man was younger, his name is Mike, and Mike had done those things that we do to put together a life that is meaningful and begin to step into that success that life invites us into. And, you know, he'd done the education, he'd started an excellent career and was doing wonderfully. And one of the very meaningful things to Mike was the quality in relationship. And so he had entered into a relationship that meant a great deal to him. And this part of his life he'd put effort into and seen it grow and develop. And then things began to change. And Mike found that in every part of his life he had failed. That the career was in shambles, that the relationship had ended with pain. And he was at that point where you take a look at yourself, and maybe his words say it best. He said, "I was a pathetic wreck at every level." Now, my guess is some of you have traveled through that. And if you have, you know the feelings that come up around it. Okay, I'm not okay, I'm a failure, I'm not enough. Anybody ever experienced that sort of a feeling? Yeah, and then with it, the guilt. Anybody good at guilt here? And then there's that next part of it where we ask, why? Why me? Any why me people here? Have you done that one? Maybe a whole lot? Okay, yeah, it's what happens. And we're there, and Mike was in that place of depression and despondence. And he was deep into that why me question. But something happened for Mike. He asked a different question. He had a background of spiritual study and interest, and so he understood that prayer is one of those ways that we make connection. And so he went into that experience of prayer. But the question that Mike asked was, who is the person I was meant to be? What really am I here for? He asked God to show him what he was really about, what he was meant to be in this experience. And what he was very aware of was he didn't look like that at all. And as a part of this questioning that happened for Mike, he also, realizing the importance of this connection as he was making it with himself, he also went to that place of, how could I be of service to you? And an interesting thing happened for Mike. He began to get a sense and a picture of a different life. And he began to make a list. He actually started to write a letter to God, a thank you letter. And in that thank you letter, he wrote thank you for, and he put all those qualities that were beginning to come into his awareness of that which he desired in his heart to really be. And as he did that, as he entered farther and farther into it, he began to see the potential of this young man. and what it would be like to experience life in a very different way than he was. Now, what I know, because I met Mike after that time, and some of you have met Mike too. He is Michael Moran just retired as the senior minister of a dynamic Unity Church in the Sacramento area, and he was an inspiration and an empowerment for the spiritual growth of thousands and thousands of people, because he made within himself a shift of not only what he asked, but of what he was choosing to live. Now that shift is part of what I think Easter is really about. Now, when we get looking at Easter, okay, there's lots of different ways that people look at it. Many different traditions, many different backgrounds, and we understand it differently. So I went to the experts in our family on what meaning is and what it's all about, my grandchildren. Okay, and the young teens were very clear about Easter. It meant weeks of egg salad sandwiches. Okay? Now, my 3-year-old grandchild, who just learned about the Easter Bunny. I mean, the Easter Bunny is very real in our world. And she got very excited about that, and all the stuffed bunnies came down. And then we went to see a friend who has a bunny, and so she could experience bunny. And she was there, and she calls me Papa. Suddenly she comes running over and says, "Papa, Papa, the bunny just laid little tiny chocolate Easter eggs." And so we've got a caution out this Easter, yeah. But when I think of Easter, I was surprised to find that one of the most meaningful aspects of it for me came from remembering the work of a 4th century BC Chinese master. We'd call him Shang Tzu. And Shang Tzu, the story goes, was at an inn in a little town where he lived. And a friend came up to Shang Tzu and said, "How was your day?" And what he responded was saying, "My day's very perplexing." Why is that? Shang Tzu explained it this beautiful day in the sunshine, and so he went out for a walk. And he went out through the forest, and there was this beautiful tree, so he sat down in the warm day, leaned back against the tree, and he said, "I dozed off. And while I was asleep, I had a dream. Now, in the dream, I discovered I was flying. I was flying, and I felt so free and light, and it was wonderful. And I looked back, and I had gorgeous wings. I was a great butterfly. I was this beautiful, magnificent creature. And my heart was overflowing with joy. It was so wonderful." He said, "It was so real to me that I completely forgot that I'm Shang Tzu. I was the butterfly." And then I awakened. And I was Shang Tzu. And his friend said, "Oh, what a beautiful dream." I said, "Yes, I've had dreams of flying, but never like that, never as a gorgeous butterfly. Wow. So what's your problem?" He said, "Well, the difficulty was in the dream, it was so real. I was the butterfly. It was as real as we're experiencing right here as you and I talk. So now I'm not sure if I am Chang Tzu, who had a dream of being a butterfly, or if I am a butterfly having a dream of being Chang Tzu. And his friend said, "Oh, I can tell you, you're Chang Tzu." And he said, "In this dream, of course you would." Now, the obvious thing in the story is, of course, the different reality and the difficulty and the invitation to explore and understand that. But with most old Chinese tales, there's a whole nother level. Because I think what Chang Tzu is really saying there is both are our reality. And the butterfly is the symbol of the spiritual self. That freedom that we experience in this symbol of flight. That lightness, that joy, that fulfillment, that magnificence is our reality. If we choose to be in that awareness. And there are times when we're just sitting at the table like Chang Tzu. I think for Michael, he made that shift of awareness for a moment. From just the person living out a life to a spiritual being, a magnificent being of great potential, a magnificent spiritual being of wisdom and power. And if I understand Chang Tzu, he's saying that is what we are. I am a magnificent spiritual being. Would you own that with me? I am a magnificent spiritual being. Feel it. Again. I am a magnificent spiritual being. Wow. That is a beautiful reality. Again, I am a magnificent spiritual being. That access, how we connect with and bring to life that spiritual being, how we awaken that within us. I got a glimpse into an amazing world of awakening. One time I was in Costa Rica and I was sitting on a riverbank. I was all by myself. And across the river was this dark, thick foliage of the rainforest. And I was sitting there in a beautiful, quiet moment. Suddenly, there was a great flash for a moment of blue. And then it was gone. And I looked up and wasn't sure if I'd seen something. And then there it was again. And it was gone. And then in different places, it was there and back again. And then there was a moment where there was nothing. And I waited and waited. And then a little farther down, there it was again. I was given the gift of watching a blue morpho butterfly there in the rainforest. And it's easy to understand why they are such a powerful symbol to the native spirituality. And the truth is, the butterfly becomes a powerful form in all spiritual journey because it's a symbol of the self freed. When we let go of the limitations that we're experiencing, and we experience the magnificence, the beauty, the power of that spiritual being that we really are. And it's sometimes through symbols that we touch and awaken this quality within ourselves. Little boy, 6 years old, lived in Canada. And he was diagnosed with a brain cancer. And of course, with that sort of situation, a year, maybe two at the most, for his life. And already the impact of the disease had begun to drain his energy and his life experience. Now, some of you, I'm sure, are aware of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They're the wonderful people that created our Bat Boy experience here in San Francisco. And basically their way of service is to find terminally ill children and to explore with them what their wish is and to let them have that experience of their dream. Well, for little David, now how in Canada he got into this, I don't know. But his heart's desire was to see a blue morpho butterfly in the wild. So they found a wonderful etymologist there in Montreal, George Broussard. And George and little David were sent down to Mexico, actually. And there they got to go into the rainforest and explore, and they had the experience of finally finding and experiencing this mystical presence that is that butterfly. Speaking of mystical presences, aren't they wonderful? When little David returned home, the cancer went into remission. And years later, when he was 30 years old, he was there on the set when they were filming the Blue Butterfly movie, which was the story of his experience. That connection that we make to that in us which is whole, to that in us which is powerful, to that which in us which is magnificent and complete and intelligent. That change is to me what we're looking at in Easter. In the symbol that shows up there in what Susan read to us this morning. There's this experience there at the tomb, and if you'll notice, the men look in and don't see anything. Women always run with that. I don't know what it is. But Mary ends up able to actually be there and perceive the presence of Jesus. Or when we talk about what that's speaking of, we talk about the symbol that are there, this intuitive capacity within us that Mary is the symbol of, is how we make the connection to be able to perceive the Christ self, this magnificent spiritual being you are. That it is with you and in you, and you have the capacity to awaken and see it. Each one of us do. And at times, each one of us have. How do we do it? Well, I've always appreciated the work through symbol. But I know that, in fact, we can go there very directly, very powerfully, and make that shift of awareness that Changzu was speaking to us of. And the way is a simple one. It's the experience of love. There's a young man who, at 15, had been arrested 15 times. Okay. As he spoke of his life, he explained that his role models were pimps and drug dealers. Okay. As he carried into the unfolding of his life, found himself not only in prison, but also he was put in solitary confinement for 2 weeks. in that place, that tomb, he took a look at himself. And what he found was that he loved his mother. His words. I remember writing my mother letters. So he's talking about the time in the solitary confinement. I remember writing my mother letters, so many letters, telling her how much I loved her. And if I was to get out, I would never, ever hurt her again. It was from this moment that I knew I could do anything in life. Through that love for his mother, he made that connection into that self that was Chuang Tzu's butterfly, that spiritual being that has the power to create the life we came here to live, to be about the purpose that our hearts call us to be. Well, he went home, went back to school, went to college, turned out to be a fantastic athlete. And his name is Karen Butler, and he has spent the last 12 years in the NBA as an amazing athlete and as a powerful inspiration to the people around him. A long way from solitary confinement, but just a shift from this self to that highest that was within him. And I think that's the invitation. Do we want to be the highest that is within us? It's there. No matter what is going on, we can access it. So think, are you open to express the highest within you? Are you open to express the highest within you? If so, join me. I am open to express the highest within me. Feel that commitment within your heart. Again, I am open to express the highest within me. The power, the presence, the love that is there for you. And again, I am open to express the highest within me. If you really want to do that, then I invite you to make that connection with your heart. To really let yourself enter into that which is that which you truly love. The quality of love within you. Now, for Michael, it was a self-compassion and his love of God that led him into expressing the highest within him. For Karen Butler, it was his love of his mother that let him do that. And for that little 6-year-old in Canada, it was the love of a mystical butterfly. If you make that commitment and let yourself go there, connect there, live from there, you may just find, like Lao Tzu, not Chuang Tzu. Lao Tzu is the other one. You may just find, like Chuang Tzu, that you can fly. Bless you.
Wow. I heard about it, but that to see is believing. Thank you, Reverend David. Thank you. Oh my God. Our heart ministers are available after the service today to offer prayer support for challenges or celebrations. You may see them around the sanctuary, on the grounds, praying with others. Our heart ministers are wearing the lavender stoles. Your prayer requests also can be sent at any time from our website. I ask you now to take a connection card from the seat pocket in front of you. As you're taking that card out, we invite each of you to take a moment to fill out this card. And if you have a prayer request, question, or comment, please fill that in. If you are new to Unity, you are invited to fill out the card and stop by the welcome table on the patio. We look forward to meeting you. The ushers will receive your card with the offering towards the end of the music. I'm still kind of amazed with the butterflies. It's time for our prosperity celebration. For credit card donations, there are envelopes provided in the back of each chair. Or for those of you at home, just click on the donation button on the Watch Live page. Emily Cady, one of the America's greatest metaphysicians, said, "Desire is God knocking knocking on the door of your heart." So divine love both gives us our heart desires and provides all we need to fulfill them. I invite you now to take your tithe or offering in your hand. Be aware. Be aware that God is the source of all your good. Repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am truly grateful.
Resurrection power is moving in this hour.
Please stand and take hands and join me in our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song. You are the love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun. Happy Easter!